Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Stoudman's Summer Movie Reviews. This week I'll be reviewing Land of the Lost, starring Will Ferrell and Danny McBride. Before I get started, I'd just like to address some of the controversies surrounding this film. Its current rating on Rotten Tomatoes is, well, not good. So a lot of people are giving the film a lot of crap based just on that, having not even seen the movie. The really annoying thing about this is that most of these people never even saw the original series the movie was based on, and they also don't really understand the humor that this movie is also based on. I'm sure most of you have at least heard of the Evil Dead series. And in fact, most people have heard more or seen more about the final film in the series, Army of Darkness. The only reason I bring this series up is because it's so popular, and yet it is so undoubtedly and undeniably bad. However, that's what makes it so funny, so endearing, and so popular in the underground film market. Why is this important? Because this is the kind of humor used in the film Land of the Lost. It's supposed to be a bad movie, okay? That's the idea. The movie wouldn't be funny or entertaining if it wasn't bad. If you've never seen the original series the movie is based on, it would probably be a good idea to at least watch an episode or two before seeing the movie, because in a very important way, the film remains true to the series. Because the original series was just bad. I mean, really bad. The special effects were laughably bad. I recall one scene in particular where one of the main characters falls down a shaft, and the animation used for the fall is literally an action figure tied to a piece of string that is being tugged on to simulate spinning while falling. The dinosaurs in the show are claymation, and when the actors have run-ins with the dinosaurs, the green screen used is so laughably bad it looks like, well, like a YouTube user did it. To add to this factor, the story for the series and for each individual episode is also laughably bad at best. However, the show became beloved in a sort of underground fashion, much like the Evil Dead series. Now, this is all important information to take into stock, because this film is then obviously not going to have any art in it whatsoever, except that which is required to make a movie that's so bad that it's fun to watch. This makes it hard to determine whether the artistic vision or anything in this film was well done or poorly done, because in being poorly done, it could be considered to have been well done. As such, I'm going to give this film 2 ratings for each individual aspect that I have decided to give it. In terms of art, first it gets an F- for being a complete pile of crap. This is undoubtedly not art, but in that fact that it is not art, it gets a B for being so bad that it's actually rather enjoyable to watch, and since that was clearly the idea here, I'd have to say it was pretty well done. The approach could have been done better, as there were a few areas where the film was taking itself way too seriously for what it was trying to accomplish, but other than that, it was a dead-on spoof, a mockery of science fiction in film to the bitter end. Now, you'll recall that I was saying earlier that the story from the original series, both as a whole and in each individual episode, was pretty bad. Well, this film follows suit, as some of the lines and gags used are so cliché or so completely stupid that you'll literally be howling with laughter, yelling, "That's so stupid," to the screen. As such, I have to admit that the story was really bad. It didn't make any sense. There were entire scenes that felt hopelessly out of place and unnecessary, and the entire film was completely pointless. This story gets an F minus for being so incredibly horrendous. And it gets an A for being so horribly bad it was frickin' hilarious. As I said earlier, the special effects in the original series were so horribly bad, it just made it more amusing to watch the show. Sadly, this is one aspect that didn't exactly follow into the film, as the special effects in some areas were pretty decent. It was almost extremely clear what was CGI and what wasn't, but it was still some pretty good CGI. I don't know if the person who did the CGI just didn't get the memo about the point of this movie, but it just made things feel a bit awkward. You get so used to the idea of the show being bad and watching that aspect follow over rather closely in the film, and then a giant decent looking CGI dinosaur shows up looking pretty amazing. Where's the claymation? Or at least a falsely colored polygonal structure of a dinosaur that looks like it took all 5 minutes for some 5th grader to create with free graphic design software. That is what I wanted to see, damn it! Still, some of the stupid gags pulled towards the end of the film with the CGI make up for it, as they are anything but seamless. I'd have to give the special effects a C first because it was decent, but a D next because it didn't follow with the point of the film. So here I have been talking about all this, and I told you about all the stupid lines and gags in the film. Well, as we've learned from previous films like this, you need a pretty special actor to be able to deliver the pathetically stupid lines with enough passion to make the audience laugh simply at how seriously the actor was taking his position they were given. Well, if there's anybody out there besides maybe Bruce Campbell who's good with cheese, it's probably Will Ferrell. Why? Well, you have to admit, whether you love him or hate him, the man can keep a straight face through practically anything, and act normal in the most abnormal of situations. As such, I felt he delivered brilliantly in this film, because I don't think I have ever laughed quite this much at anything that he has ever done. Will Ferrell just hasn't been that funny in recent films, bringing some to ask whether he had lost his funny or not. After seeing this film, I can honestly say it's still there, because he was given the perfect kind of role for the kind of cheesy stuff that he's just perfect and hilarious with, and brings laugh after laugh with how seriously he takes the role. Now, Danny McBride was okay, but he felt really stale, like he was trying to match up to the cheese factor of the film and failing in almost every attempt. However, the few times he was able to find his inner cheese ball were quite hilarious, so I let it slide. Overall, the acting in this movie was absolutely atrocious. I give it an F for making it feel like I was watching an Eddie Murphy movie for the umpteenth time, just without Eddie Murphy. And I give it a B for being so cheesy that it brought the film as a whole together as a pretty funny thrill ride of pathetic filmmaking. If you take the film too seriously, you'll be saying, why the hell does she just conveniently know this monkey man's dialect, even though that would be pretty much impossible just from talking to chimpanzees? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. God! But if you watch the film the way it's meant to be enjoyed, you'll be too busy laughing at how completely unrealistic, inaccurate, and stupid it all is. Not everyone is going to enjoy a film like this, so just keep that in mind before you decide to go and see it. However, if you have understood and enjoyed this type of humor in the past, I would definitely recommend you at least give this movie a shot. It's everything a comedy should be. So funny you'll be hard-pressed to find a point where you're not laughing for 5 minutes or more. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of the comedy films that have been coming out in the past 5 to 10 years have followed a similar and completely bland formula that's not so bad it's funny, it's just plain bad. I find myself watching some of these dramedies and laughing maybe once or twice during the whole film. Isn't this supposed to be funny? Isn't it supposed to be comedy? Why am I not laughing? Oh, that's right, you're trying to shove a stupid-ass moral down my throat. This isn't a children's book. This is an adult comedy. Stop treating me like an impressionable dickwad and make me laugh. That's your one job with a comedy. And I feel that the makers of Land of the Lost and the cast involved fully understand and comprehended that with this film. Comedy isn't supposed to be art. It's just supposed to be funny. If for any reason it is funny, then it has to be considered some kind of a success for the simple fact that it met the goal of being a comedy. As such, I consider this film a success. Regardless, I'll bet dime to dollar it doesn't break 100 million box office all summer if it's even lucky enough to break 50 million. Oh well. Oh well. This kind of humor is just lost on a lot of people. But I implore you not to let that happen to you. This movie was really funny and a joy to watch. If you liked what you heard in this review, I'd suggest you at least give it a shot. If not, that's okay. I just hope you still enjoy the review. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you'll tune in next week for my next review of the hot sci-fi flick Moon. However, if I'm not able to find the film playing anywhere close, I will be sure to bring you a review of a different movie regardless. Keep in mind that I have taken some suggestions from my viewers to heart, and if my plans for Moon should fall through, I now have a few suggestions to choose between for a replacement. I want to thank everyone again for watching my summer movie reviews and giving me the input necessary to keep bringing you a decent show. So, tune in next week and I guarantee that there will be a review of at least one new summer movie.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.